Alright, so here's a video review of the Fans Hobby MB-09A, and B. A is the plain one back here on Archenemy. B is the Gunfighter 2 version here. Now, I'm only going to transform, we will see both the robots with it, but I'm only going to transform one of these trailers. And that's because this one does have the stickers. They come on a sticker sheet with some nice art by Jeff Sr., who, if you read Transformers comics, you'll know has been part of the franchise and doing art for Transformers all the way back since the old G1 comic. So it's really cool, really neat to have him. It's got a little signature down here. And then some stickers for the side. And that's really, there's one physical difference between the two trailers, and that is this red piece right here is red on the B version, and it's silver on the A version here. So this one will work. Like I said, both of them came with the stickers, even though it doesn't really match Archenemy. It's really meant for Gunfighter. And that means you can get either trailer, depending on whether you want red trim or silver trim, and either one will work. Because like I said, physically, without these stickers, aside from the red trim, this one is exactly the same as that one. There's these stickers, these stickers right here, and then these two stickers under the tail lights. The tail lights are painted, these two little hazard stripe stickers are what is the difference. Everything else, but until you put those stickers on, these two trailers are identical aside from the trim here. So you can get if you find, if you wanted a trailer for your Gunfighter, and then it's sold out, all they have is the A version. The A version will look just as good, especially if you sticker it all up with Archenemy or with Gunfighter. It does come with some optional trailer hitch parts. This trailer hitch attaches to Archenemy, and this one actually stores on the trailer. We'll show that off. But you also get two additional adapters. This one is for Power Baser. My buddy Ian's currently has my Power Baser, so we won't show that one off. And then you get one that goes on, it's got the two tabs that can go on MP10, so you can plug this in fairly securely to the back of MP10, and then the trailer can attach to that, and MP10 can use the trailer as well, either version. So you've got that. Now, what's nice about this, there's and aside from that, like it's good construction. It's solid. The wheels are rubber. It fits with the respective figures. It's a good solid trailer. There's some extra pieces clipped on down here, which we'll go over shortly. And one of the best things about it is, aside from some of these little flame effects, which we will show off in the video, it stores everything, with the exception of this gun that came with Gunfighter 2. It doesn't store the traditional prime rifle, but the sword, the Generation 2 style double barrel blaster, and all the missiles and weapons for the trailer itself all store within the trailer, which is nice. Now, for Archenemy, who came with the sword and the gun and the G1 style rifle, but not the double barrel blaster, his trailer does include one extra piece, and that is a solid black double blaster for him. So he gets this blaster as well. Finally, it doesn't on Gunfighter. It has some little red detailing here in these vents. On this one, it's just solid black for Archenemy. Both sets also come with alternate heads here. The original heads that were on the figures. We'll see the new ones when we get to robot mode. So like I said, we'll go ahead and take these off to the side. I'm just going to transform this one because I've already got this one all set up. Because again, physically, they're exactly the same. I'll show off both robots with the trailers, but there's no point in doing the transformation twice for the exact same thing. So, first off, like I mentioned, we'll go ahead and we'll take this trailer connection point. It just fits here in there's a couple little pegs, and then in this little slot back here on the back of Gunfighter. And we'll take it here, and there's a peg right here where you can take this and just plug it in, and it will store right there when you're not using it. These are clips for using the bigger gun in combined mode or in robot mode, and we'll show that off. There is also a stand here to prop the trailer up when you don't have it attached to the vehicle mode. One of the things before we get to the whole transformation is it does have the disc shooter up top here. You get 5 discs for it. But what's nice is if you had the G1 toy, you know this would be a problem. This actually comes with a little cap, you rotate it clockwise, and it comes up, and then all the little discs fit in there. We'll show off how it fires shortly, but it does have a locking cap. You actually put it on and twist it to lock it in place, and that is fantastic because now you won't lose the discs, and then they don't fall out the front until you actually fire them, so you can store them in there without losing them. So that's a huge bonus. It transforms very similar to how the old one did with some new features. So you just pop the front of this cap, this little cap here on the front of the trailer down, stand it up. We'll go ahead and close this. I think each half opens up here to provide some weaponry and stuff. The centerpiece folds down. Now this radar dish comes as a separate piece. You got to plug it in right here, but outside of that, it has a little hinge here, but it can store within the trailer. Once you attach it, you don't have to reattach it. This little gun flips up here. This is where the little short dual blaster would plug in normally on the original one. I'll pull this down, and you'll notice that here is the storage slot. You flip this handle up for behind the peg, but this double blaster can store right here in the closed trailer. There's a couple ways to configure this. You can leave this kind of standing up like this, or you can bring it down flat. I'm going to stand it up like this because it will be important to us a bit later on in the thing. So starting off here with the armament, this little cannon here in the front, you can extend the barrels and have that sitting here at the front of the trailer. There's two little barrels that pop up here on each wheel well that you can lift up and then extend as weapons here. You'll notice there is a storage slot for the sword here, as well as slots for spare ammo underneath. 3 missiles, and you can fit 3 bullets for the big gun over here. One bullet is already in over here, and there's 3 of each on the other side as well. And you can store the sword on either side. You just flip the little peg on the sword down. It finally has a purpose, and slot it right in there, and you can store the sword. We're just going to leave that in there for right now because all the ammo I need is over there. So come over here, and over here is the same 2 barrels, which you can lift up like that. Take this little missile launcher and lift it up. You can see there's 3 buttons here, and then 3 of these missiles clip into place here. Oh, that one. Okay, that one actually was loaded. And when you put these in, you'll see some divots here. I don't know, can't get the light in there very well, but there's 3 little divots at the bottom of this. You want to make sure that the fins vertically are up and down, because this fin snaps into the bottom and these 2 snap in on the side. So you want it like a vertical plus when you slide them into the ammo slots. You can load 3 missiles into there, just like that. And one of the things that I really do dig here, Ben did it. No, okay, it's straight. I'm just whatever. Is when you flip up the disc launcher, instead of just sitting here, and it's stiff enough that like it will sit here loosely. I mean, it will sit here and support itself, but there are actually 2 panels here on the side that you can flip out and rotate in. There's a little notch there, and it will support this, so you can put some pressure on it while you're spinning the dial to fire it, and it still stays supported. And then in the middle of the trailer, we have the giant gun. Sorry, I've got a tablecloth on it. It's causing everything to slide. So you lift this gun up like this, straight up like that, or actually just up like this. You want to lift it up. Actually, you do want to lift it straight up because you want to open these panels here on the bottom. If I can get my fingernail in there. There we go. These little panels right here open up, and then you can lower it back down. And once you've got those open up, these panels right here under the gun, this piece rotates down and around like that. And you can also take this with the long handle out, and there's a hole up in here. You can store this under the big gun, so it makes it even more impressive here. And there's a little spring-loaded button right here. You push back, and it fires one of these fat short bullets which store over here as well, and you just push it back in to load it. You'll hear it click into place. And then on the back, there's a little handle mechanism that flips up. And the handles even have grooves on them, so you can take Archenemy or Gunfighter and have them man that gun. But there is the whole base. Now, well, most of the whole base. It's big and wide. So these missiles over here, like I said, you just push this button and it will launch. Okay, well, don't eat that, Val. Pretty decently, but I mean, they're not super spring powered. They'll go a fair distance, but they're not like launch across the room ridiculousness levels of power. And then the disc launcher is just friction based. You just kind of the harder you spin the dial, it will launch a disc out. And then to reload it, you just open up the top here and drop it right back in here. Okay, actually make sure this is rotated all around, because if it's halfway through the launch process, they will pop up a little bit. Oh. The flame effects that we mentioned earlier fit in all the barrels of all these little cannons that we've extended, both in the front and all the things. They're just little firing effects, and you can plug them right in here onto the guns. Okay, you can't really see that one, but we'll do one over here. Don't worry, we'll back it up. But just like that, you can have them have the weapons firing, which is pretty cool if you want that special effect. And if you want to have, like I said earlier, if you want to have him man the gun, you don't have to use the slots if you don't want to, but you can bring his arms around here and have him grab the guns here. Like I said, whether you intentionally slide his hands onto the pegs or not, just take some, gotta kind of get them so they're in. But you have him, fine, we'll just do it the easy way. We're just gonna do this the easy way, so. You can have him man the battle station. Look at that, whoa, that was a weird wobble just from moving a chair across the floor. Now, one of the other things you can do, like I said, one of the reasons I had this up originally is because there's a little clip in here that you can flip up in the middle. And this whole gun assembly, you take him, and if you rotate this, one of these doors, I guess it is this way. Oh, come on, you can't lock it. There we go. Just gotta rotate it, it unlocks. This whole gun comes up. You take it like this, you pull these handles out, which also have the groove to slide the fists on. And you take this, flip it around. You want to rotate this, there's a slot here in the middle. You want to make sure that goes around to the back so it fits in the clip. The clip has a little notch that's going to go in this slot here. But you can then take this and clip it in right here. Now it does, the weight of it, if you don't have a character holding it in the back, does want to droop and cause the middle thing to come down. And we'll go ahead and pull Archenemy in this time, so you can see him with the trailer. But you can have somebody hold. Oh, came out of the groove here. But you can have him man the giant gun there like that. So you've got a couple different ways of displaying the base. Now real quick, since these guys do have, well, let that fall, because we're going to do something else in here in a minute. Go ahead and Give me a second, I'm standing up. I'll fix it, I promise. I need a scooch, baby. That's not a good place to be standing, sweetheart. So let's turn these a little bit so you can see the light on them. So here are the new heads. They're a little stucky, they look stumpier. They look more like the G2 heads on them, and then compared to, I'm actually being enough room to just set them next to it, the original heads that were on the figure. You can see the antenna aren't as long. They don't come up past the head like the originals do. Different, like the head crest is a little taller, and that does cause a slight clearance issue when folding up into vehicle mode. But they look nice. Archenemy especially, I think, looks good. But so you can swap those out. They're really easy to swap. You just unscrew the back, pop it on. You don't even have to completely unscrew them because it's not like a ball joint. It's just that couple little pegs. So you've got that. Another thing you can do while we're up here on these guys real quick. I turned you right into the light there. Revved up like a deuce, another Roma. Anyway, you can take the same flame effects that we used in the trailer. You can plug in up here on the, you're supposed to be able to plug these in to the, I was told these could go in here, but the smaller peg is too long. And that's glued in there pretty tightly. Huh. I don't know if maybe these were supposed to be cut past here, because the instructions definitely show that you can plug these into the armor. Let me check that real quick, because that may be something I'm missing. And it was. So like it takes a little bit of wiggling, but this small little plug back here does in fact come out, which then shortens the peg and allows it to plug in right there. So that's what you have to do. You just gotta kind of, they're in there initially really tightly, so you kind of wiggle it out. This smaller peg here, like that, and then plug it up here so you can make their shoulder cannons look like they're firing as well. And what's neat is, I don't know if you saw when I pulled it apart, is you've got the longer, it fades kind of from an orangey yellow to a dark red, the burst down here. But inside there's even a smaller, to give it some texture within the widening part of the blast, there's even a smaller cone that kind of catches the light and glints it slightly differently inside there, which is really kind of neat. But yeah, so you can give him those kinds of powers as well, firing off the missiles. And then the last thing we're going to show off here, and this again is something that can be used with a lot of different figures, any power baser, either of these guys, or just about any figure really, is this big gun itself can, fine, whatever, can become a big mounted heavy. It's got a handle back here, and then this handle up here. So you can close this up, and you can use this as a giant blow the crap out of everybody cannon. Now, in order to do that, like, I feel like just messing with the toys, Gunfighter seems like he's capable, like maybe he doesn't need these pieces. Because with Archenemy, I can totally see why they're included. There's a couple pieces that were stored under here earlier. Here's the trailer hitch. Here's this thing. And then there's these two pieces. Now, when you put these in, you'll see there's a long side and a short side. Make sure when you put these in that the long side is upper closer to the trailer hitch where the bar comes across, and the shorter side is at the bottom with the little divot thing facing in. There is a specific direction these need to go in here. But pop those off. And these are arm bracer things. These go on. Is it this way? Maybe the other way. No, it's this way. So you clip them on. The short side down here clips around here, and then this comes in here. One, it gives you a peg here in which you can attach if you want to use the small peg, you can mount this gun here on his forearm if you wish, which gives you an option. But I think that, like I said, with Archenemy, I can see it because it was very easy to pop these open, to pop the hands in. But just because of the weight of this gun, basically what this is doing is this is making sure that the forearm stays closed. Aside from giving you the option of plugging some weapons into the forearm as well, it holds them closed so like it doesn't slide or fall under the weight of the gun, which is actually kind of nice. And the fact that it stores on the trailer, again, a bonus. The fact that everything, because like I said, there's no place for this gun, but considering it's supposed to be Generation 2 Prime, I've always given him the double blaster, and this is just kind of set off to the side, so I'm okay with it. But everything you'd want stores: the sword, the double-barreled gun, all the ammo for the weapons. Okay, these little things don't store, but I don't know how often I'm going to actually want to carry those around anyway. But anyway, so you can take this giant gun, and you can, again, there's even the slot for it, and it does fit up in here, and allow him to kind of hold it sideways. I don't know that this twists at all. So you can wrap his hand around that, and then his other hand can grab this as a handle, and it's not really a great way of locking that together, but maybe like this. There we go. But now he can carry this giant gun and use it to wreck like everything. And I mean like everything. It's got big old bullets. You fire those things at speed and they're going to wreck some stuff. So yeah, all in all, it's a nice set. It completes that G2 look. I love the new heads. The Jeff Senior art is really nice. I don't know that I'd use it on Archenemy, but it's there if you want it. And yeah, like I said, I really do love the new head. The new gun is cool. I don't know how often I'm really going to have him use the big gun. It does fit, I think, a little better with Power Baser. It's a more scale to him, but if you want to have a Prime with just a really giant cannon, that's the set for you. The way everything stores and collapses is nice. The cover for the disc launcher, huge quality of life improvement on this toy. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. If you have either one, if you have Archenemy or Gunfighter 2, I do recommend getting the trailer for it to complete the look. And it's a nice little base, and you can put other people behind it as well. But like, I really dig it. And like I said, quality is good. There's not anything that I really had an issue with. Well, one thing I did forget to point out is if you put the stickers on, you need to remove the trim piece, and that's there's just 3 screws here in these little silver wells. Don't unscrew this one in the black plastic that's holding this on, and these pieces are mirrored, which is why you see an empty screw hole up here at the front. This one, and this one will allow you to remove this red piece of trim, and you want to do that because when you put the stickers on, one, it's nice because in every section you've got at least 2 straight edges, both vertical and horizontally, to line your stickers up with. So it makes lining them up very easy. I would line up with the top, across the top and against at least one edge. Really, as long as you focus up on like line it up against one edge and across the top, you'll get a nice evenly across applied sticker. And if you line it up at the top, these fit the space pretty securely, fairly tightly. There's not a whole lot of extra room, but if you line them up on the top, if you end up with a little bit more of a gap in the silver on the bottom, it's going to get covered up by this piece of trim. So it really was not, for all the fact, each one of these is like, you see where these silver pieces are. This is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece, this is a piece. It's 5 separate pieces for the art. And it actually goes on a lot easier than I was worried it was going to. But yeah, there is the Fans Hobby trailer for Archenemy and Gunfighter 2. It's big, it's imposing, it's pretty cool. I dig it.